Imagine standing on the sidelines of a packed arena, the crowd roaring, the lights blazing, and knowing that you are carrying the weight of a nation's expectations on your shoulders. That's exactly the reality awaiting Kara Lawson, the newly appointed head coach of the USA basketball women's national team, who has just been chosen to lead the squad through two of the most important competitions in the sport, the 2026 FIBA Women's World Cup and the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. This is not just another coaching assignment. This is the chance to take the reins of the most dominant dynasty in women's basketball history and continue a legacy that has defined excellence for decades. Kara Lawson's story is as much about resilience and leadership as it is about basketball. Long before she was given this massive responsibility, Lawson had been building her reputation as a fierce competitor, a dedicated leader, and a visionary coach. To understand why she is the right person for this moment, we need to trace her journey from the very beginning. Lawson developed as a player under none other than Pat Summitt at the University of Tennessee, one of the most legendary coaches the game has ever known. Imagine being a young guard, stepping onto the court for the Lady Volunteers, surrounded by the aura of Summitt's intensity, discipline, and championship pedigree. That environment shaped her. She became a two-time All-American, a first-round WNBA draft pick, and eventually a WNBA champion with the Sacramento Monarchs in 2005. But those years weren't just about collecting accolades. They were about building a mindset, a philosophy that would follow her into every chapter of her career. Her playing career was impressive in its own right. She wasn't the flashiest player, but she was always reliable, sharp, and determined. Fans of the 2008 Beijing Olympics will remember her role in helping Team USA bring home the gold medal. That moment, standing on the podium, hearing the national anthem, was one she has often described as the pinnacle of her playing career. But Lawson's contributions to USA basketball didn't end there. She carried her knowledge and competitive fire into coaching, where she quickly made waves. Lawson's coaching path is particularly unique. In 2019, she joined the NBA's Boston Celtics as an assistant coach. That alone was groundbreaking, as women in NBA coaching staffs were still relatively rare. Think about it, stepping into locker rooms filled with veteran NBA stars, breaking barriers, and earning respect in an environment that can be incredibly tough to crack. But Lawson thrived. Players consistently praised her ability to communicate, to break down the game, and to connect on a human level. That experience in the NBA only expanded her perspective and sharpened her skills, setting the stage for her next big role. In 2020, she became the head coach of the Duke women's basketball program, and the timing was anything but easy. She took over a program that had lost its footing, missing consecutive NCAA tournaments for the first time since the early 1990s. On top of that, the COVID-19 pandemic disrupted her very first year, with Duke playing just 4 games in that 2020-21 season before shutting things down. For many, it would have been a nightmare start, but Lawson didn't back down. In her second season, her team finished just over .500, but you could already see the seeds being planted. By her third year, Duke had exploded back onto the scene with 26 wins and a trip to the second round of the NCAA tournament. Year after year, the program took another step forward, reaching the Sweet 16 in 2024 and the Elite 8 in 2025. Rebuilding a storied program is never easy, but Lawson made it look like an inevitable rise, fueled by her determination and vision. That track record of steady improvement and proven leadership made her a natural candidate for the national team. But it wasn't just her work at Duke that impressed USA basketball. Lawson had already been part of the Team USA coaching system. She played a pivotal role in helping the inaugural American 3x3 Olympic team capture gold at the 2020 Tokyo Games, and she later served as an assistant coach for the senior women's team during the 2024 Paris Olympics, where Team USA once again asserted its dominance. In both roles, she showcased her ability to handle pressure, to adapt to international play, and to bring out the best in athletes who are already among the best in the world. So when USA Basketball began its search for a new head coach to lead the women's program through this next cycle, all eyes turned toward Lawson. And now, with the announcement official, she finds herself in one of the most coveted and demanding positions in all of sports. She will be guiding a team with a legacy unlike any other. The USA women's national team has won every Olympic gold since 1996, creating a standard of excellence that can feel almost impossible to maintain. Every coach in this position knows that anything less than gold is considered a disappointment. That's the level of expectation Lawson is stepping into. And yet, if there's anyone prepared to handle that pressure, it's her. When the news broke, Lawson expressed her gratitude and determination with words that carried both humility and strength. "I am honored to be selected as the head coach of the women's national team for this cycle," she said. She made sure to thank Sue Bird, General Martin Dempsey, the USA Basketball Board of Directors, Jim Tooley, and Brianna Gould for entrusting her with the opportunity. But beyond the formalities, she emphasized her awareness of the responsibility. "There is no greater honor in our sport than to be chosen to lead the U.S. women in world competition. I understand the responsibility and the challenges that lie ahead. I look forward to meeting them head-on." It was the kind of statement that reflected not just gratitude, but also the fierce mindset of someone who understands what it means to lead. Her appointment is also symbolic in many ways. Lawson represents the next generation of leadership in women's basketball, someone who bridges the gap between the greats of the past and the future stars of the game. She has lived the journey as a player, she has earned her stripes as an assistant in the NBA, and she has proven her capabilities as a college head coach. Every step has built toward this moment, and every lesson she learned along the way, from Pat Summitt's intensity at Tennessee to the Celtics locker room to rebuilding Duke, is now part of the toolkit she will bring to Team USA. What makes Lawson particularly compelling as a coach is her ability to connect with players. She knows what it feels like to be in their shoes. She knows the grind of practices, the mental strain of competition, and the sacrifices required to win at the highest level. When she speaks, players listen because she's been there. That credibility can make all the difference in a locker room filled with the world's best athletes. And beyond tactics and X's and O's, Lawson is about culture. She builds trust, accountability, and a sense of shared purpose. That's exactly what will be required when she leads a roster of WNBA stars, each with their own accolades and styles, into battle on the global stage. The road ahead will be both thrilling and challenging. The 2026 FIBA Women's World Cup will be her first major test as head coach, an opportunity to assert dominance and set the tone for the Olympics 2 years later. International competition has grown stronger, with teams like Australia, Spain, and China continuing to raise their levels. The gap has narrowed, and Lawson will need to be sharp in preparation, strategy, and execution. Then comes the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics, a once-in-a-lifetime chance to coach Team USA on home soil, with the world watching. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the opportunity couldn't be more historic. For fans, Lawson's rise is a reminder of how dynamic the sport of basketball truly is. We are witnessing a generation of women not just playing the game at the highest levels, but also stepping into positions of power and influence, shaping the future of the sport. Lawson is not just inheriting a team, she is inheriting a legacy, and she is adding her own chapter to it. From her days as a young player at Tennessee to her new role as the leader of Team USA, her journey has been one of relentless growth and undeniable impact. As the countdown begins toward 2026 and 2028, all eyes will be on her. The pressure will be enormous, the challenge is fierce, but if her past is any indication, Kara Lawson is ready. She has built a career on meeting big moments with bigger resolve. And now, she stands on the edge of the greatest challenge of her career, ready to guide Team USA into the future and, perhaps, into even greater heights of history.